Alright everybody, welcome back to the Lowdown. I know it's been a while, so I want to do like a quick, brief explanation of what's been going on. Of course, we stopped making videos last March because things kind of got crazy. We weren't able to put, our full commitment into the channel like we had been doing. And so, for the time being, it's just going to be me. That's why there's been the name change of Mediocre Lowdown. George may come back to the show eventually, but for right now, present, life commitments for him just make it kind of impossible. So I'm going to try and keep it upbeat. I'm going to try and bring the same, energy that we had before and still give you the same type of news you were getting before. It's just not going to be as much, a two-person gig. It'll be obviously just me. So, but we're going to go ahead and start, and we're going to be doing this Tech Tuesdays just like before and Nerds Day Thursdays. So Tech Tuesday, of course, will be all about tech, new upcoming tech that's coming out. And Thursdays is going to be about just gaming news. Now, gaming play and previews and gaming videos will be on my other channel, which is Mediocre Gamer Man. And so if you're interested in that aspect of it, definitely check that channel out as well. And a link will be in the description down below. For those of you who have subscribed and are, have been asking me to come back, I really, really appreciate it. I'm sorry that it took me so long, but thank you all so very much for all of your support. So, but let's get started. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting things today. It's not as many as I normally would do, but recently Tesla has talked about a full self-driving package for their cars. So full self-driving is kind of a misnomer in my opinion, but I think what Tesla's trying to do with this is actually pretty interesting. So the idea is they're offering $199 full self-driving subscription. I think originally it was around $10,000 as an add-on to whatever vehicle you had at the time. And as long as you had that hardware 3.0, you would be able to get this full self-driving package. If you don't have that, you don't have a newer Tesla, you can still upgrade your current Tesla to that hardware 3.0. But of course, it's going to cost you $1,500 to do so. Now, what are you getting? Because full self-driving to me reminds me of Minority Report, where he gets in the car and he says, "Take me home," and the car just goes. Time Cop, same kind of deal. You just get in the car, you stay where you want to go, and that's where it takes you. What Tesla's offering is nowhere close to that, okay? What can it do, though? It can navigate on autopilot within a lane, okay? It can auto lane change, auto park. It can, sorry, I've got my stuff over here. I've always got to have something reminding me what I'm doing. You can actually summon it. You can summon it across a parking lot or from a long driveway. And of course, it has traffic light and stop control. Now, it cannot do any of this without supervision. In fact, Tesla has specifically stated that the currently enabled features require active driver supervision and do not make the vehicle autonomous. So, a lot of people say, well, what's the point in that? If it's not autonomous, it's not full self-driving. And of course it's not. I think part of the purpose behind this is it makes everyone a product tester for Tesla. I think that alone makes it worth it. If you have a Tesla, I think it actually kind of makes this worth it because the issue with the Google car and other self-driving cars that have come out is there was no supervision. So if something went wrong, there was nobody to say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what went wrong." Of course, they could go through look at the memory of the device and say, "Okay, well, here's why this happened." But I think starting with a supervised driver and doing these minimalist features, which honestly aren't that minimalist. If you look 30 years ago, this is an unheard of thing. We thought, if you look at Back to the Future, we didn't even think this was possible then. So this is honestly a fantastic thing for people who are on long trips, people who are, they have to take the highway to and from work a lot because highway driving is different than inner city driving. And this helps with inner city too, but for long highways, I think the real important thing with this comes in when you've been driving that same highway 30 minutes, an hour and a half. You get what I call road weary. And I think it's actually a term. I've heard it before. But this allows you to realize that, and you can, then get off of the highway. But it keeps you from getting road weary and moving a lane, because this will stop you from doing that. Hopefully this will kind of keep that, you noticing that. So it creates some safety features, I think. But really, I don't think you should rely on this, but I think that's kind of the idea of it, is that it helps in situations where, you need that extra. And honestly, if it allows you to just drive down a lane and stay in that lane, you're able to do more things. You're being able to be more animated, so it can help you from getting that just kind of drone on the steering wheel, So there is that. But honestly, I think safety. The summon feature is probably the least likely to be like, oh, this is amazing. But really, this feature in my mind is one of the most important features of this whole thing. And the reason for that is, I want you to think how many people come out of a store late at night. Business owners come out of businesses late at night. Ladies, and I'm not saying this can't happen to a gentleman either. I'm just simply saying that, people come out of stores or come out of businesses, anywhere, come out of a bar late at night. Even if they you need an Uber or something like that. Well, not if you need an Uber, of course, because you're going to get an Uber. What I mean is, like, let's say you're like the designated driver, or you're just a person who's leaving from a bar and you didn't drink, or you just, hung out with friends somewhere and it's late at night, you're by yourself. 9 times out of 10, if there's a camera present at that business, it's going to be right at that front door, not in that parking lot. So you start walking across that parking lot, anything can happen. There's been a number of times now where there's been shootings in Walmart parking lots, there's been kidnappings in Walmart parking lots, there's been beatings, all sorts of terrible things, because people have to walk across a parking lot late at night that's dimly lit with no cameras. Or really bad cameras. With this, you can have the car come to you at that front door so that you're still inside, and then you can just walk right into your car and go. So you're still within that camera range where it's, you're noticeable and you're in the light. And I think that opens up an amazing amount of safety. The other features are fantastic icing on the cake. Maybe in the future there will be, better unsupervised driving. Though I think we're quite a far bit away from that. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to skip ahead there. I think we're a far amount away from unsupervised driving. But Tesla, I think, is in the right direction. And hopefully what they learn, they will share. And other car companies can start getting in line and really pushing some of these features to enable driver safety. So, but that's my goal. Or that's my hope, my goal. Anyway, so on to the next thing you've already seen, of course, kind of ruined the surprise. Valve Steam Deck. So I know that this is Tech Tuesday and not Gamer Tuesday or Gamer Thursday. But this is tech. This is the kind of tech that I'm interested in. Hopefully it's the tech that maybe you guys are interested in. I know we talked about game systems prior. The Steam Deck is going to be Valve's, Steam's very own handheld. Steam has the best opportunity to make this actually something worthwhile. Now, supposedly it's going to begin shipping in December. It's going to be 3 different models starting at $399. Which, of course, you're going to want to upgrade, but that's we'll get to that in a second. You can actually go on their website now and reserve for $5 a chance to be a part of the pre-order. It doesn't pre-order you the Steam Deck. It reserves you a spot in line to have a chance at a pre-order. Is it worth it? If you're a gamer and you love Steam, yes. If you've got a lot of games on Steam, go and reserve it, because you're going to want this, and I'll tell you why as we go along. But just be aware that the reservation is not a pre-order. Okay, it just kind of holds you in that line. So next on the list, is it fancy? Okay, is this a handheld that's going to push the bounds and be on par with the best of the best right now? And yes, it is. In fact, I think it's actually better. I think this is probably whoever was the lead designer for this should be commended, because if this thing comes out with as polished as everything says it's going to be, it's going to literally be the best, hands down, handheld to come out ever. Okay, so it has, as you can see, 2 thumbsticks, but it also has a D-pad and touch pads, the trackpads. Trackpads give it, you're a lot more controlled. Trackpads are really, really great for shooter games, for games that require a lot of precision, because you can be more precise on a trackpad. Just think like on your phone, you can be more precise moving your finger than you can a thumbstick that moves as you move. So this opens up a lot of precision-based gameplay on this handheld, but it also has a touch screen. The only thing that I don't like is it does not come with its own stylus, but honestly that is so far and away from being a big major point, I'm not even worried. It comes with a gyroscope for motion enabled games. It comes with 2 shoulder triggers, the R1 and R2, just like standard gaming, and the L2 and L1 of course. But it also comes with 4 back buttons, which you can actually see right here behind me. There's 2 on the other side as well. These back buttons, I don't know if they're programmable. What I looked at before, I wasn't able to find anything that said they were. But I'm guessing that they're probably going to be, or they're going to be specially used for certain button combinations. But I'm hoping they're programmable, because that would just be amazing. Now, of course, the touchscreen, as we talked about before, is a 7-inch 1280 by 800 touchscreen, which is the same as the Switch, the actual big Switch, not the Switch Lite. Switch Lite's too tiny. So this thing matches up to the Switch in size. The battery life, of course, depends on use, but the 40-watt battery should mean about 3 to 4 hours on like all but really the most intensive games. I think they said that with Portal 2 it'll last for 3 to 4 hours. And for sessions where you need to plug it in, of course, I don't see... Oh no, here it is, the Type-C port. I don't know if you can see right there. That, from what I understand, you can actually plug in using this Type-C port into your TV. That doesn't seem right, because I've seen it has a dock. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit, but I'm guessing, because it actually says in what I found that the Type-C plugs into the TV. So I'm not sure. You can use a dock, and they actually have docks which don't cover the screen, so you don't have a chance of scratching it like you do with the Switch. It's actually just a dock where it actually docks in and connects to the TV, which is a phenomenal feature. But you don't even need that to connect to the TV, which makes it even better. You can just take a cord with you wherever you go and plug it in, and you're done. Not only that, it has native Bluetooth. For all of you people out there who have a Switch and wish that it had native Bluetooth, so you didn't have to plug in your headphone jack and keep the handheld so close to you, because most headphones don't have long audio cables or long cables. Like the AV cables are short. Like, I had a hard time finding anything more than 4.5, 5 foot. I think I finally got one that was 6 foot, and anything else is kind of hard to find. But this has native Bluetooth, meaning if you have a Bluetooth headset, it will connect, which is amazing. If you have, like your Bluetooth for your phone, you can connect to this. So that right there opens up so many great things just off of that, because I don't know of another, like the Switch doesn't have native Bluetooth, and beyond your phone, you don't really have a whole lot of handhelds that do. So, sorry. It also has, finally, a remote play feature allowing streaming from your PC to the Steam Deck, which allows more power if your PC, of course, is more powerful, because it actually streams to it. It's kind of like the cloud from Xbox. But they have a remote play feature where you can remote play from your Xbox to your phone. It actually works pretty well. I tried it once. Honestly, I don't want to carry a remote with me to work to play on my phone, but this thing you can remote play from your computer, and it negates you having to store all those games on this device, meaning you don't have to worry about overloading this device to play all your games. So I think that's a really, really cool feature. Is it powerful on its own? Yes. Okay. It's got an AMD APU containing quad-core Zen 2 GPU, 8 threads with 8 compute units of worth of AMD RDNA 2 graphics. Is that good? Yes, of course. It's probably going to be on par, if not better than the Switch. 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, which is DDR5 is the newest RAM. I'm pretty certain. I'm not as big into tech as I wish I was. That's why my tech stuff is stuff that I like. It's not like, we'll talk about NVIDIA and stuff later, but I wish I knew more about tech. It has 3 different storage tiers, 64 gigabytes eMMC for $399, which is the base model. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, unless you are only doing this as a remote play or you're only using this for small sessions, you don't really use a whole lot of Steam stuff, you just want to have a handheld, you're going to want to upgrade. Because the upgrade cost is so minimal for what you're getting. If you just add $129, $130, you're more than doubling. You're getting 256 gigs of NVMe, a much faster SSD, or a much faster memory in an SSD, for just $130 more. And then if you go up and let's say you just add $250, not even double, but a little bit more than half, you're getting 512 gigs of that same NVMe SSD, which is just amazing. $649 compared to $400, and you're getting, what, 5 times as much? No, you're getting like 8 times as much. I mean, really, if you can spend the $400, find the extra $250, and put it into that much better, because then on top of that, you can actually expand it with a high-speed SSD, or high-speed micro SD, and you can have so much memory on this thing. And then with remote play, you don't have to even worry about memory. But the memory is faster in those 2 upgrades, so your loading times and things like that will be smaller. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to skip past that. That's for the next video. But yeah, so that's kind of what I have for Tech Tuesday. I know it's not a lot. I only have 2 things really this time, but I've got a lot of stuff coming for the next videos I'm really excited about. I'm hoping that I can get this going again, because I had so much fun doing these videos before. I mean, it was one of the best things that I had done. I'm really going to miss the camaraderie I had with George, with Jorge. But, I talked with him. He's fine with me bringing this back on and doing it solo for a while. And like I said, hopefully he'll be able to kind of join in eventually. But the YouTube thing, it's something I really wanted to start. And I've had a lot of issues recently that have kind of, kept me away. And I'm really glad to be coming back. So thank you all so much. If you like the video, definitely like, comment, subscribe down below. And I will see you on Thursday, Nerds Day. So have a good rest of your day and take care.